Hello, this is Rich, and I decided to do a video regarding a former Detroit Lion, Erik Kramer. Erik is about 4 years younger than me. He's 50, or going to be, and in a apparent, somewhat shocking event, he chose to shoot himself. Apparently, he has been suffering with depression for some time. Some of the claims made by his wife and people close to him have that he has not been himself for some time. Depression is a hard thing. It affects everyone different. Everybody gets different degrees of it. It's not easy. I deal with it. I was fortunate that I met another former Lion, Erik Kramer, and he wrote a book about real men. He wrote a book called Good Men Do Cry, and about the issues he had with his depression. He, like Erik Kramer, lost his son. Erik Kramer's son died because of an overdose. Erik Kramer's son, was a star high school quarterback. So he was on the verge of possibly becoming a college star and moving into his father's footsteps, going into the NFL a few years later. So his loss, I can see, maybe help push along whatever existing condition may have been due to head injuries that occur when you are a part of an NFL team and you are a quarterback. These are things that are undeniable, and sometimes head blows and injuries don't show up until years afterwards. So, in effect, as people, we have to be vigilant upon how we change, and as we age, we change in ways that many times are unpleasant, because as kids we feel like we're going to live forever, and that is a myth that us humans choose not to look at closely. Erik, as a quarterback for the Detroit Lions, was in and out as head QB. They did a rotating thing with him, Rodney Peete, and Andre Ware. And Erik ended up, I believe it was by injury, being the starter at the end of the '91 season. And he quarterbacked the Detroit Lions' only playoff win in over 50 years. I have my own nickname for Erik, and I called him Brass. And he had a toughness and a self-assuredness that any young man could admire playing the game of football if you played it. And football is tough, and the hitting is tough. I never played at an organized level because injuries just were probably going to be too commonplace. And I had a friend who played football and was constantly, even after he quit, was constantly going to the chiropractor. And not that going to the chiropractor is a bad thing, but who wants to be doing that the rest of their life? I love football. I love the hitting, but I've also come to the realization that honestly, some of the over-the-top hits that go on against players, I've changed my view on it 180 degrees. I like football. I like the way it's played. But I no longer need to see guys crush somebody. And, Erik Kramer's ex-wife said that he's changed immensely in recent years. Erik was a regular contributor on Fox Sports Detroit. He had a lot of thoughtful analysis regarding really what I would say has been an ongoing kerfuffle as far as the Lions go. They can't get it right. They can't hire the right guy. They can't hang on the right quarterback. And that happened when Erik was QB. When his contract was up, they let him go. Best man for the job, let him go. And the thing we have to realize is addiction, mental health, brain injuries, they all go together. They can all intermingle and cause a variety of damage that's unseen until it starts to unfold in the brain. And hopefully, once it starts to unfold, we figure out the right things to try to put things back as best as we can. And it's a difficult thing to watch someone fade. Brain research has skyrocketed. They are now looking at things such as being able to manipulate neurons in the brain to possibly end cravings for addiction, and also possibly modify behavior. And the cautionary tale in this is you change one thing, you don't know what you're going to change when you change that, because one change may precipitate 10 others. But at some point, when you have people going around being violent towards others, raping people, molesting children, and whatnot, we have, and as far as I'm concerned, prisons don't do any good, because all they want to do is hold people, and prisoners do not get educated. They do not learn useful skills, learn useful behaviors for the most part. Most of these guys are tuned in, you got me locked up, and tuned in the fact that you got me locked up and I want to be out, and you show me how to do something, I don't care, I want to be who I am. Well, the degradation of parenting and the police and general society has really started to collapse to me in a meaningful way that's not good. And what we have to do is we have to get back to basics, go back to start doing some of the things we did previously, and try to eliminate some of the things that really aren't useful in making us the best possible people we can be. People looking at their phones, people being rude and thoughtless for no reason. These are things that I think about a lot, and I want to start looking into ways as I continue my education in school, in my return to school in my mid-50s, to see if I can't affect a useful change in how people view abusing drugs, some of the violent behavior, hanging on to guns, holding racist thoughts, whether it be as a policeman or as a common citizen. It doesn't serve anyone to hold these feelings in, and it usually causes more damage than what it is worth. We have to, as a society, evolve and grow, and people who don't want to grow should be left behind if they don't want to be there. But you can't do that either, because that person is going to be stuck in their thinking, and they're going to muck up any possible good that you put forth. People have to start realizing there's more to life than getting an extra buck, having the newest iPhone, especially when people are near you, whether they be related to you, whether they be somebody you see on the street, whatever. You have to look at people and see what's going on, and being rude to people, not knowing what kind of pain they're going through. And then you wonder when that person, it doesn't have to be the person that's going through the stuff. It's somebody else that's watching and thinking, you're a real asshole, and they end up doing something to justify what they thought was rude behavior. Treat your fellow man as you should, with respect. He may not be living the life that you think he should, but it's his life. And if he isn't hurting anyone, the judgment, the gossip, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't matter. The important thing is we have a very limited amount of breaths in this world, and to sit there and talk about this one and that one and the other one, it just drives me nuts. How hard is it to be nice to someone else? I found when I am nice to somebody that I don't know, or I may not even care for, I don't like their demeanor, it helps me, because I want to be the best that I can be. I don't care what somebody else does in their life, as long as they're not harming someone else, as long as they are not hurting someone else. You have people who either are molesting kids, committing violent acts with a gun, raping, abusing women, any kind of negative behavior. It's just, to me, it's a waste of breath that, whatever creator you believe in has given you. We're all going to die. Why put suffering on another human being unnecessarily, unintentionally, or intentionally? It's not worth it. I hope Erik Kramer heals from this, and he's able to find a direction to overcome the suicidal thoughts, to overcome what negative feeling he may have in himself. He can do a lot of good if he can get back to where he was, and getting out there and providing outreach for young kids who need someone like that has experience and benefit kids that are getting into football, to learn from someone who has seen some hard hits and lived through some difficulty. Those are life lessons as well as career lessons. We need to do more for other people. The selfishness and the superiority attitude towards other people is a crock of shit, and we need to knock it off. So I want you all to listen to this and understand that every opportunity to be good to someone is an opportunity to be good to yourself. Life is hard. I wasn't given a free pass to make it harder for anyone else. And I surely don't want it made harder for me. Love your neighbor. Love every animal. Reach out and do something good for somebody today. Something that you wouldn't normally do. And maybe try to do it once a day. Different person. It'll enrich your soul. Thank you.